Shubor nagaslem jong nongsan Hima.
Ki nong yalam jong kilai teli ki Hima bakan thop ya ki Hima nong spung Hima jirang bat Hima melim. Ha ka artarek uyayong kila penlong ya ka jing kendok lang banya mer jing mot ha ka bayadai bat ka jing do no ka jong ki yala ki jaka puta. Kumbala pau ha ke MOU kabala soi de u Konrad ke sangma menteri rang ba ka sarkar jilla bat u Himanta Beswa Sarma menteri rang ba ka sarkar Assam. Ha ka arpau khandai tarek u banai leber hanong ba Delhi. Hakani ka jingya lang lawan banyadan rengkat na do usim ke Hima jirang upa im RH watlang secretary ke Hima nongspung uba im maulong basan nongse ke Hima melim Nathaniel thank you sim karat marwen upa im kens im unong ya an bapau ke jela uba Erwin ke sutanga UIS Terran Chief Advisor jang ke Amerika Karbi National Council Desh di Moria rengkat ki rang ba snong ki basak ta na ke jing Pynbeit pun lembat ki seng ba pher jong ka Ribhoi district ka jing la jang ka komiti Pynbeit put ka sarkar ya ki rat ki Hima batru ya ki nong snong haswa banshem ya ka rai bakhat do na ka benta uput usam kala pensngau si bat pen kthang ya ki babun ki pat ba nong snong ki than khaput jang ka Ribhoi batru ya ki nong yalam jang ki rat bat ki Hima ba pher Nakaliang kinong yalam jong kini ki Hima hadin ka jingya mer jingmon kabala ne bon kenta kila shem ya karai ban pha sendon da ka Jingthoh sha menteri rang ba ka jella bandawa ba udai ban Pynbeit Biang sa sien ya ka ka MOU kabala Ïasoi bat ka sarkar Assam naba kata ka regional committee ban Pynbeit ya uput usam ka klemle ya la ka kamram ha ka rukom kabade Kamtam ka jingbom kinjok ketien bat jing ya lat katei ka komiti ya ki rat ki Hima bat ki snong ki tau ki batep khamba ya uput usam.
Now our head king, Desdemona king is there, his owner of the land. But without concerning with the owner of land, these two government, Assam government and Meghalaya government, they are discussing that dispute, bringing a solution. How can it possible? I am the owner of the land, but I do not know what discussion is going on, what is dispute, what solution going on. And one thing is that, so my knowledge is concerned, boundary solution is not a political solution, it is a constitution solution. Because India, sovereign India was constituted through the constitution. According to first schedule, it mentioned that the province of Assam comprised of Khasi state and tribal area. Then I told the both government, give us the Khasi state return back. Because when British invaded us, that we fought together that we have independence. Whole India will get independence. And when we get independence, our kingdom should be given back. But they didn't give status. Desdemona didn't give us back. Otherwise, they have occupied. Our king is there is no very good king, no status. Or the kingship is there, they do not regard it. They ignore it. So now, I have to say so many things, but I cannot say in the short of time. But what my advice is here is that first step we should take is that we should go to the Supreme Court and file a petition to give an injunction. Then this discussion between Assam government and Meghalaya should be stopped. Because they are not owner of the land. Owner of the land is we, you king, you this Brahmasanam, Basan, and then CM, our king, our Ïasoi, the owner of the land. First they took the owner of the land. Then you go with this person. Government have no authority of our land. Government has no land power. Our local bodies have the land power. District council has the land power. CM has land power. Our king has land power. Our Brahmasan has land power. Government has no land power. We don't care what is discussing, what is Omeo. Omeo is not legal. Legally no value. They do to Chief Minister Sonath Sama and Himanta Biswa Sarma. They make Omeo is no legal point. Legal value is not there. It should be considered because India formed a constitution according to first schedule reform. So they should go to constitutional legal point. They should go. Then solution should become constitutional solution. So that is it. It's only way for Supreme Court. And give the injunction. Let their whatever discussion, whatever the solution be stopped. Unless under local body are satisfied, local administration are satisfied. Unless the local administration agree to go for this solution. So we need constitutional solution, not political solution. political solution is meaningless. MO is meaningless. There is no legal power.
Power yang sosial bujur, mereka sim untuk rakyat Jingthoh dengan di Trajaka. Nomor pi ke sarkar kalau orang itu pas sedang tidak bahkan follow gitu 5 parameters semua. Di dalam willingness yang beliau, tentang ethnicity, tentang historical perspective, tentang administrative convenience, tentang geographical community. Jadi kita kini gini baru ki satu lagi parameters ni, baru ki box ni laktik lu, baru willingness lu, ni kuahi pun ni kasih, ni kuahi pun dan apa ni kari lah jong jalan ni ada ethnicity ni deh kasih. Fiscal perspective lu, mentang lagi post suara wangi ada setara lu nice pasang style. Riswa mata ki pa jungi ki mi jungi ki dan lupa ke long bagi nak senang dulu ada nice pasang style. Riswa kata lu bila bun sedang bila rap bila ring ta. Te kita kenya ka ada satu convenience lai ni kenya une don sim right ni. Tinggi don kam ni kacakahi don kam buat tang international bila dan hang lupa ke kamar wat kana para ka don lupa ka international tu. Ya ni don sim right office sim right don lupa tu. Dan kini ka geographical community ini kini part of the Shillong Kultumo, atau dari Shillong Kultu kepada external nasional bermokra. Jadi kini berapa parameter bernilalong winning ber, indah ber dalam menilai hari sarkar ber klaim sih mereka bius ini dan klaim itu kelas ya rendah begini kita pakai kalau ber institusi itu.
Kajing wet na ngerang kesini, mah kini kesini kami kini ka dengan protes aki kaput lagi sedang berperang. Temannya sebab berki banyak semjumun, dah ada kerja kerja put after Assam Malaysia. Akot ikim tersini Malaysia. Dia berpermi huri orang. Kadang kita menanya ajumun barang yang sekolah ni ada kuno. Hari itu nga invite lang kini ki Hima macam tu. Kila iwan mungkin kesel. Kerja ini juga kita kau ni lami di sini kini ki Hima macam. Teknik kruing lai kedua nak sih hanya apa fiskal tu. Teknik kedua jadi kembali bagi perusahaan yang bayu ada ni kuat dan baka sarkar dan baka baik itu ka desain itu ka Ïasoi itu ka MOU. Te anak kalak dan ribut senang ni itu ka MOU. Jemut ni kalau minta. Te bar kalau bang minta di kau asyik denusin mana kerja traditional head di muka. Bahkan lead yang kena kam kerja put ke. Teh nama hanya ba kibun kijungi kisahta kan kini nang sistem ko baik kuli apa kenapa kita kisahta atau bukan cakap. Kiong ba kalau le cakap Assam pun bantu kan contoh kayak MU. Teh kini memang setelah kilaya sekian kata teh kira ayam lang hanya kau ini lah ni lah. Teh Kathai bahkan mereka jiran jadi mentang dengan pak sebagai government toy itu, ayat mereka melonggar sesok karena orang Karena jika putra jadi sudah berhubung di private lah, kasulkan untuk sekarang. Jadi seksil lagi ada, apa anda juga ada seksil lagi ada. Mainnya dari mereka ini traditional head, yang berstong di sini lagi Hima, di Trajaka dan sosial itu kan ini. Dah akan ini jangan lang. Juga mereka sarkar dan kata konsen dengan tip sekini ki traditional head tega surai itu berbeda kata dengan ini fight kita kita jika bertemu kita kau tak jadi.
Today the same right of Marwet, a traditional head under the Malayan Sameship, empowered by the 6th schedule of the Constitution of India, has called for a meeting of the traditional heads, including the CM of Hima Jirang, the advisor of the Hima Nongspung also was there, and the landowners, the headmen of all the affected areas along the Meghalaya-Assam border, falling within the areas covered by the 6 points of agreement in the MOU signed by the Meghalaya Chief Minister, Mr. Conrad Sharma, and the Assam Chief Minister, Mr. Ïasoi Sharma, on the 29th of March 2022. The meeting was called because in fact, people are not happy. In fact, you have seen that the headman representing my colleague who spoke on behalf of the other headman has said that the way in which this problem has been approached is not, the people are not happy and they are not willing to accept this. So also from the Samurai, who is the traditional head and is the authority over land in these matters. Because basically what has happened is, I'm sad to say that the government of Meghalaya, while considering this issue, number one, kept the memorandum of understanding prior to the signing of this MOU. They kept it very private, very strict. They kept it strict and strictly confidential. They formed regional committees, which, in the main, these regional committees did not do their job properly, because now we know from the people that we have spoken to that they have not attended, they have not met the people also. So also, day before yesterday, that was on Saturday last, I was there on the 31st, not Saturday, on the 31st I was there in Block 1, in the disputed area of Block 1 in Jingthoh Hills. They have said that the so-called regional committee headed by Mr. Nyawhalang never visited the place. There was no discussion of these matters, and they submitted their report without even setting forth. Although later on, a member of the Constituent Assembly, when passing of the 6th schedule, he said clearly, he said that this is a constitutional anomaly which I fear for the safety of this area. And this has come true, because now this constitutional anomaly, which you see, this constitutional anomaly exists in Schedule 1 of the Constitution of India, the description of the state of Assam, which says specifically the Khasi states. In the deliberation of the Chandrachur committee on the boundary, which is not accepted by us and which was never placed before Parliament, is that the opinion of Mr. L.M. Singhvi and Mr. Biang, who were constitutional experts in their right, they have stated that this question should have gone, it should go, not should have gone, it should go to the Supreme Court under Article 131 for a final decision by the Supreme Court as to the question of the Khasi states. What are the Khasi states? And here we find that, you see, now I saw the Chief Minister, while replying to the objection to the MOU, has said that it's based on solid principles. What are the principles which they are speaking of? The principle is that the area here, if you talk about the dispute here, and other areas falling within Kamrup area, what has happened is they are falling back on the notification transferring these areas for administrative purpose that was prior to independence. Later on, the operation by virtue of Section 7 of the Indian Independence Act, that arrangement was over. And by the instrument of accession, especially the exceptions that over land, water, excise and forests, nothing should be done. The Dominion of India at that time had no law-making powers over these four subjects. And this is precisely what has happened. We are talking about land. Land which belongs to the people. Land which the government has no right over this land, without consulting the landowners, without consulting the traditional heads, who are the authorities under the 6th schedule, without taking the Khasi Hills Autonomous District Council, the Jingthoh Hills Autonomous District Council, the Biang Hills Autonomous District Council as part and parcel of the negotiation team. They have gone ahead and signed something which will now burn the border, and people are frustrated. It is ongoing because this was filed in 2021. So the Supreme Court also sees that there is an important point to be discussed in this matter. So apart from that also, Mr. V.M. Tarkundi has said that there is a scope to go under Article 263, where the President may appoint interstate council to go into these matters. In fact, this would have been the best solution, that an interstate council with powers, definite powers, have been appointed, so that a final solution can be arrived at in a legal manner. An MOU is not a legal document. In fact, they still have to present the survey report. They still have to present the consent of the landowners before Parliament, and only then can it become law. Otherwise, it cannot become law. So it becomes only a political exercise for the benefit of the NPP and the benefit of the BJP in Assam. That is as far as it goes. Nothing beyond that. But it has left behind, in the wake of this MOU, in the wake of the ink running from both the pens of these two chief ministers, the ink that it has left running is the ink of frustration, the ink of anger, and the ink of denial of the rights of our people in these areas. You see, if you go into this question, these areas, especially under Kamruk, they were transferred for administrative convenience. In fact, the notification of 1876 of the Kosia Hills, issued by the British government at that time, it was very clear that all these areas are falling within Million Sanctuary under the various Des Domaria, this Raj Marwet, etc. You take Hima, you take Nongwa Motomo, you take any area that falls within the Khasi state, have been clearly defined under the notification of 1876. I know the learned Deputy Chief Minister, Mr. Preston himself, has said, we have called for papers, we have done everything. In fact, you don't have to call for papers. You have to only go by 1876. You'll find all the truth is there. Nothing else. You go to the point of the starting point. We don't need other representation, this or that, which will confuse the issue. All right, go to the starting point. From there, you start from there. If you don't start from there, and you go with a constitutional position, then that creates an aggression towards us.